Hello, Yunan. Welcome back. I hope you've had a good break. We're going to be starting this term with a new topic on data and statistics. Okay, now this topic can be enjoyed by some and disliked by others. I just want to talk a little bit about why learning this is important and then what can be some of the things that people find difficult about it. So learning about data and statistics is very important for a lot of industries. Okay, so if you're working in finance, if you're working in science, in engineering, in IT, computing, it's really important that you're able to collect data well, analyze that data, display that data well. Okay, so here's a quick little search on Seek, which is a job seeking app, and you can see I just type in data, and there are thousands of jobs here: scientists, engineers, computing, etc., etc. Lots of different jobs that require you to be able to interpret data, analyze data, collect data well. Okay, so that's one reason why learning about data is really important. Okay, the other reason is during this pandemic, you would have seen a lot of statistics or things shown on the news or in papers or whatever, where you've been keeping up to date with things. And it's important that we're able to understand these statistics that are shown to us so that we can know how to behave appropriately. If we don't understand how to interpret the data that's displayed and even assess it, okay, you might see some misleading data that is presented. We need to be able to develop those critical thinking skills. So that's why learning this unit is important. So it's important and it's also employable. One of the things that people find difficult about this topic is there's lots of new words. So it's quite a wordy topic, more than other maths topics are. That can be tricky for some, or for some, that's something that they prefer. So I was saying cons, just because it's something that trips some people up, is lots of words. You might be more of a word person yourself, and that's great. So this might be a topic which you find a bit more understandable. But that's just a little intro. Today we're going to be learning or recapping some of the words that you would have learnt last year. We're going to be looking at different types of data. So the way that this term is going to be structured is first we're going to be looking at collecting data. What are the issues with collecting? We're going to be looking at displaying data. What are the different ways that we can draw and represent data visually? And we're also going to look at analyzing data. What information can we pull out of data to help us understand what it means more than just the obvious? So to start off today, we're going to learn about the two main types of data and the two subtypes of those. Okay, so there's sort of 4 subtypes in total, but 2 main types of data. We need to understand the differences between these types of data first before we can do anything else. Now, the 2 main types of data are, we have categorical data and we have numerical. Now, categorical data is like descriptive data. So I'm going to write descriptive using words. Sorry, descriptive. Let me get the spelling right. Numerical data is any data that contains numbers. Now, numbers are also descriptive, but we've got words, we've got numbers describing these kinds of data. So categorical, numerical, the 2 main types of data. However, each of these also have 2 subtypes. So in categorical data, here are another 2 words. You can have nominal and you can have ordinal. So nominal data is just something in which there's no difference between the different categories. Okay, no difference between when I say different, sorry, perhaps a better way of explaining is that there's no order to categories. Okay, so types of categorical data, categorical nominal would be eye color. So you could have brown, blue, hazel, whatever, so on and so forth. And there's no order to those things. They're just descriptions used by words. In ordinal or categorical ordinal data, we're using words, descriptive words, but there is some kind of order to them. Order to categories. So, e.g., low, medium, and high. So despite these still being descriptive indicators, there is a clear order between low, medium, and high. So high being at the top, medium, and then low. So there is a way in which you can sort of order those descriptions. So they're the two types of descriptive or categorical data. Numerical data, which uses numbers, has two types as well. So we have, first one will be discrete data, and then we have continuous data. So in discrete data, we are counting. So that's the main thing, the difference between counting. And there are only certain values that you can have when you're counting. So when you're counting how many objects you have, you can't have, say, fractions of those objects. You're just sort of going up by whole numbers. So an example would just be how many whatever. Okay, that's an example of discrete data. Continuous data is something that is measured. Okay, and when you measure something, theoretically, you can have any value in between two sort of whole numbers that would be possible. So if I was weighing or measuring, etc., something, okay, if I was to talk about how tall people were in a classroom, you could have 1.5 meters, you could have 1.6 meters, you could have 1.65 meters, depending on how accurate your thing would go. You could keep getting smaller and smaller. There's no limit or no sort of end to the precision that you can have. So really, there's any number that you could have to any sort of length of decimal or fraction when you're talking about continuous data. However, when you're counting things, you can only really have certain values that are possible. So they're the two types of numerical data, discrete and continuous. And you need to just be able to differentiate between the two. So for example, if I was collecting data of what kind of pets do people have, what kind of data would that be numerical or would it be categorical? And the answer would be categorical because we're talking about things like dogs, cats, fish, etc., descriptive words, and it would be nominal because there's no order between those things. So that kind of data set would be a categorical nominal data set. Again, if I was talking about how many people are at Shaw School, that would be a numerical data set, and it would be a discrete one because we're counting. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck with the questions in MathSpace. Again, if you have any questions, just message me on Microsoft Teams, and we'll see you in the next video.